I want to
Yep.
write a CSS locator. There, I told there are multiple ways. XPath, CSS locator, it has its inbuilt locator. So but now I want to write the CSS locator for this web element. Okay. Now, if I have a class, understand this. If I have a class, then I can use that to write the CSS locator. If I have an ID, see the basic syntax is if you have a class, if you have a class value, class attribute and its value, so dot class is the one which you use in CSS, and if I have an ID attribute, then has ID. That's it. So let's say I want to identify this one first. Let's say this one first. Let's say. So I have a class and it has value dot r something. So what I can do, what I told, if you have a class, you can identify using dot rry. So when I give dot rry, see, it is highlighting this one. It is highlighting this one. And once I hover over it, it is also highlighting this web element. That means
Mm.
I got a unique. How you will just confirm that? I'm getting one of one. One of one means only one. You can say is web element which I can get with this particular locator. That means
Okay.
let's say I tell you there are 5 houses in one colony. Okay. Now I tell that you go to the blue house. If I give an address, you go to the blue house. There are two blue houses in the colony. So what will happen? It will not uniquely identify. It will get two matches there
Yep.
because two houses are there in blue house. But if I say go to the blue house in which there is a blue car parked there. So let's say in that colony there is only one blue house in which blue car is parked. So it will get a one match. So ultimately I have to write such a locator that I'll get one of one match. Now let's say if I have used something else, see I'm getting one of one match here. If I'm using
Placeholder
R
has
Y Y.
yeah, placeholder has ASD, right? Same.
No,
Okay.
no, forget about placeholder. See, I'm giving RYY, so I'm getting one of one. Cool. Let's say for this web element, this one. If I hover over it, that is also hovering the web element. If I use that web element now, class value and dot, I give that. Now you see, I'm getting one of two here. That means I'm getting two web element which can be identifying it using these locators. So what are the two
Yep.
web element? First is this one. Okay, this I'm identifying. Second is this one I'm identifying. Why? Because here also class has a value HTTYY what I've given. Here also class has
Yes.
a value HTTYGS what I've given here. So it is getting two web element which is matching it. Yes or no?
Yes.
In that case, what I can do is I can use, let's say I
Mm.
want to identify this one only. Then what I can do, I can just use both the class value and give it. Now one of one I'm getting. That means I'm identifying this web element uniquely. Because it has two, it just, when I just use one, it is not uniquely identifying. But when I am using both of them, it is uniquely identifying. That means when I told blue house, it got two matches in that colony. But when I told blue house and blue car, it just got one match.
Yep. Okay. So dot default means dot and some name is the class name.
Only for class you can use, not for, you cannot
Class, yeah,
use
class
dot.
name.
You cannot use dot username. Only for
No,
class
no,
attribute
class name.
you
Class
can
name. Yeah,
use.
that's what I'm.
Yeah. Use it. So now there are two values. Okay. So there are two values here. So I have to give dot one value, again dot another value, then it will identify. This is one of the way you can write, or you can write in another way. You can give the input. Let's say you can give the tag name input, then you can give dot value that will also identify. When it will be useful? Let's say you have one scenario in which, okay, let's say this scenario. Now see, if I write, just refresh the page. Now again, if I write that locator now, it will get one of two because now it is present here also. It is present here also. So in that case, what can you do? You can just write the HTML tag if it is different. Just I write input. Now it will get one of one because the other one HTML tag is A. So I've given input here means again I told that you get the class name values for this which has input tag. So it is identifying now one of one. Understood?
Yep.
Okay. So this is so we'll be seeing multiple ways. Okay, basically we'll be seeing multiple ways in which you can identify a locator. So you have to try all the combination until you find a unique or you just get one of one here.
So when you type anything without saying anything is by default
Sorry.
tag, right? So like input you have typed there. So input is the
See,
tag name, right?
if I just type input, so if I
It's a
just type
tag
it
name,
will
right?
match. Just tag name,
Yep.
it will find one of nine match, right? Because
Yep.
there
Okay.
are nine input tags. Yes. Okay. Okay. Now let's say here for this scenario, I know that, or let's say this scenario. Let me change something. We'll understand. We make this unique. Instead of username, I'm giving, let's say username one. Now you see, here I know if I use the class name, I cannot uniquely identify. Why? Because this value is again present in some other area also, same thing. So, but I know this particular thing is unique. That means placeholder having username one is not present in any other web element. So I know this is unique. So I'll try to identify using this attribute now. Instead of class, I will try to uniquely identify this attribute now. Okay, so for that, what I'll do, I can give placeholder is equal to username one. Wonderful. Now see, I uniquely identify using one attribute which is not present. The attribute and attribute value, that combination is not present in any other web element. So I can use that to identify it. Understood?
Okay, so that has to be in the square brackets when you
That
use the attribute and the value.
exactly. That has to be in the square bracket. That needs to be present in the square bracket. Clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Now same thing also. Let's say if I have two web element in which this one is same, that placeholder username is there, placeholder username, but one has input, one has A. Then what I can use? I can again use the tag name just like we did for the previous example to uniquely identify that. That means I can give here also the tag name. Okay,
Okay.
then also it will work. Now let's see how we'll be identifying using what ID. Okay, how I'll be identifying using ID. Let's say if I have an ID, how I'll be using uniquely identifying it. Say this T I have ID is equal to three. Let's say I want to identify this one. Okay. So for ID, what I have told you, for ID you have to use hash. When I use hash and the ID attribute value, it will identify. One of one, it is just what? It is just identifying this. That means I have identified this using the ID attribute value. Understood? Now, what you can say, this is the child of this one. Why? Because if you see the orientation also, it is just present one below. This is also the child of
Yes.
this one because it is present at the same level. So this T is the child of this input and this P. Yes or no?
Yes.
This Again, if I come y is the child of p. That means t is the grandparent of y. Means y parent is p, again p parent is t. So what I did, I identified this t using the id attribute. For id attribute value, what I have to give? Yes, then the id attribute value. What I have given here. Okay. Now, this is the child of t, yes or no?
Yes.
This input and p are the child of t. Now, y is the child of p. So t is the grandparent of y. Correct? T is the
Yes.
grandparent of y. Got it? Now,
Yes.
now let's try to understand. So I have uniquely identified the parent. Let's say uh, I am none of my attribute I am seeing here is unique. Let's say none of my attribute I am seeing here is unique. But I know my parent is unique. You are understanding, right?
Yep.
Let's say
Yes.
none of my attribute are unique, but my parent is unique. So what I can do, I can identify that web element whose parent is unique by using the parent one. So first I will identify the parent, then I will identify the child. Because child is not unique, parent is unique. So what I can do, I can uniquely identify the parent, then I will identify the child. So here I have uniquely identified the parent. Let's say input doesn't have anything unique in itself. It is matching with some other web element also. So what I can do, I can first uniquely identify the parent, which I have done already. I'm getting one of one. Then I'll go to the child. So if you want to go to the child, what you can do, give a space, then you give input. Now you see it
Okay.
came to the child. That means to go from parent to child, you have to give a space and give the HTML tag of that child. Okay. Let's say there is a dynamic value. Let's say here in username, let's say order. There is an order here. Okay. Someone I see. Here you see there is an order. If you go here and you see this one, there's an attribute order and order 453. Let's say tomorrow we'll place one more order, then it will become 456. Tomorrow I'll place one order, it will become 545. So every time I cannot use the exact value of it because this particular part is changing. So what I'll do, I'll identify this way, this using this attribute, using this part of text, which is static. That means which is always constant. I'll just omit the other part which is not static. That means which is not constant. Clear? So how to do that? So for doing that, what I can do, now see. So if I want to identify using a part of the value, not the whole value. So what I can do, I can give the attribute and give a star is equal to just the part of the text. I have not given order ID colon 453. I have just given order ID here. So it is identifying one of one. So in that
Okay.
scenario, in which part of the value is dynamic. Let's say if you place some more order, it become 454, it become 456. Like this, it will go on changing. It may become 1000 someday. So we don't know what is the value for that. Okay, so in that scenario, what I can do, I can use the part of the text which is static. Got it?
Yep. Okay.
So this is used
Because like if we put only 453 to find now, it may change for the next time we
further.
try to
For the
visit the
next time,
page.
if I click and if I place an order, it will go on changing. So it will be an issue. Okay.
Yep.